am so glad that you are here. It's wonderful to be back. We are going to keep things very simple tonight. We are going to be whispering and rambling with a little switcheroo of different triggers in the background as I tell you 50 random facts about myself. But before we get started, as I always ask that we do, 3 deep breaths in the nose, out through the mouth. You ready? Breathe in, hold, and out, and in, hold, and out, and in, hold, and out. Wonderful, it is so good to have you here. So, we are going to start with a gentle brush, a bit of personal attention as we go through these 50 random facts, and as I do a ramble. There's nothing too wild or upsetting or anything that's going to keep you awake. It's just little fun things, little stories, little rambles, and anywhere between the positive and the mundane and the meaningful. That's what this is all about. So, I'll brush your face as I do so. Let's get right into these 50 random facts about me. Also, feel free to drop any of your random facts about yourself in the comments. I would really love that. Anyway, number 1. I am double jointed. Specifically in my elbows. They bend back too far. And my hips and glutes, which effectively means that I can put both of my legs behind my neck, both my ankles behind my neck. Yeah. Number 2, I wrote my master's dissertation on Heartstopper. I mentioned that in a previous video, but people still can't believe it when I tell them that. Number 3, I have a permanent scar on my right cheekbone. You will not be able to see it. It is a scar I got from a scratch when I was a baby. Nowadays, it is a very fine little dent in the skin, but it has never fully healed, and I don't think it ever will. Number 4, I'm a performer, and this will come up a lot as we go through the video. But my first lead role was the Wicked Witch of the West. The Wicked Witch of the West. The Wicked Witch of the West. So alphabet, basically. I went to an all-boys school, and a guy played Dorothy. And it was the first lead role I ever had, and I still hold the Wicked Witch of the West, and by proxy Alphabet, because I got into Wicked around the same time as a very important fictional character in my life. I love her so much, and I resonated with her then, and I resonate with her now. Number 5. I have had surgery on my right ear twice. Perforated eardrum, once when I was 9 and the other when I was 20. Would recommend it, but did me good in the end. Stopped me getting is boyfriend. So we're talking the characters in movies and TV shows that you wanted to be like your gay boyfriend, basically. Simon Spear from Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda, or Love Simon, was my fashion icon when I was in my early 20s. And both Nick Nelson and Charlie Spring from Heartstopper, I feel like I've taken inspo from both. Joe Locke and Kit Connor's outfits in that show. Basically, very plain kind of clothing, one that you'd want your dream boy to wear. If that makes sense. I don't know if it does, but there you go. Number 7. My star signs. I am an Aquarius Sun, a Sagittarius Moon, and a Scorpio Rising. So, the gods, I was born and the gods basically said, you, my son, shall be autistic. Is how I often summarize that. Number 8. My favourite pair of socks are these really comfy pink socks with yellow smiley faces on. They were given as a most recent birthday gift from one of my friends. I'm not currently wearing them, but they're wonderful and I love them very much. Very, very much. Number 9. Before my current job, actually no, a few jobs before that, I worked as a pizza delivery driver for Domino's. Domino's. I had to, didn't I? I absolutely loved it. I feel like it's a job which can get a lot of eye rolls and people look down on, but I had a great time working there. My management and the store team were lovely, and yeah, I'm still friends with my former manager to this day. Number 10. I use both he, him, and they, them pronouns, and I have no preference. That being said, it is very nice when people use they, them pronouns because it means that they see the more agender aspects of my identity and they accept it and they acknowledge it. So no preferences, but they, them pronouns are always lovely to use. Number 11. My favourite Disney movie is The Hunchback of Notre Dame. The Hunchback of Notre Dame. The Hunchback of Notre Dame. I have to say Notre Dame in a French accent. Notre Dame, Notre Dame, Notre Dame, Notre Dame. So much fun. I love it. But yes, I absolutely adore that movie. Adore the characters. Adore the music. And I'll be seeing the concert version of it in London in August, which will be very, very exciting. Number 12. The camera that you are seeing my face through is 8 years old this year. I first got it in 2017 and it's served me very well. I am very grateful for it and all that it's done for me. Number 13. I wear glasses. It's the first video I've actually worn glasses in, but I wear glasses and wear contacts. And I got the irony of me getting glasses when I did was that it was the end of 2019. So I went into 2020 knowing I didn't have 2020 vision, which is the universe playing a very cruel joke on me, I think, personally. Number reason I got piercings, because I really love studs. I think they're wonderful. Number 15. A poem I recommend everyone reads is called The Right Word. The Right Word. The Right Word by Imtiaz Darka. Imtiaz Darka, who is a Pakistani British poet. I recommend everyone read The Right Word. If you read it and if you look it up, then you think you'll understand why it's more important now than it was, and as much as it was when it was written. It will make sense, I promise. Number 16. I wrote my first song at 17. It was based on an experience I had at a house party when I was 17, when I was comforting a drunk, grieving person. And it made me think a lot about loss and the things we do to avoid it, and the way we deal with our emotions. And the song was called Vampire. I kind of cringe at it now, but that's the way with all first tries at things, isn't it? Number 17. In summer 2023, I worked at a summer camp in Pennsylvania in the USA. I was out there for 3.5 months. I was a counsellor for kids with special needs. It was hard work, but a beautiful experience. And number 18, my fact number 18, leads into that, was that whilst I was doing that job, I had a summer romance with a boy who I brought out the closet. We had a lovely time, and I got to stay with him and his mum in Pennsylvania for a bit after my time at camp had finished. I very much said that it wasn't going to work long term, because I've done long distance relationships and I'm not the hugest fan of them. But I was more than willing to explore it, and we had a lovely, lovely time. And we're still friends, and we still video call to this day, which is wonderful. Number 19. At my sports day in year 3, when I was 8, I won the long jump, got gold medal in the long jump. I don't know how that happened. I was not the most outwardly sporty kid, but there you go. That happened. Okay. We'll say goodbye to the brush for now, and we'll switch trigger. Why not? It's kind of, I've got a fact coming up which relates to this, but number 20 is that I recently picked up punch needling. Like this is very, very recent. I recently picked up a punch needle kit, and I'm really, really falling in love with it as a craft. So I recently invested in some yarn. It's a big packet, and I love the sound that this bag makes. It's super lovely and crinkly. So I'm gonna gently press on it as we go through the next couple of triggers, because I love the sounds of crinkles as well as whispering on top of it. Always have, always will. So that was fact number 20. Fact number 21. I'm seeing Beyonce again. I saw Beyonce for the first time during the Renaissance tour in her Sunderland show. It was one of the best concert experiences of my life, and I love a good concert. I love a concert. And only recently purchased a ticket for Cowboy Carter from a friend. I won't say where. I'm going to see it, fairly obvious, but I'm going to see Beyonce Cowboy Carter tour, and I'm so Number 12. I'm very messy. I've got a very messy room. I try and make it look aesthetic for TikTok and YouTube and all of the things, but it's all deception. There's so much shite on my floor. It's actually awful. But yeah, number 23, The Little Prince, Le Petit Prix, is my comfort character. I love that book so much. It's by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, if you didn't know. It's a French children's book, and the main character is a child just in a general state of... He was just generally in a state of he's just constantly perplexed at the world and the universe around him. And when you're autistic, that's your life. And not just that, but also the aesthetics of the stars and space and the asteroid is just really, really beautiful to me. It's got a lot of dark blue skies and yellow star aesthetics, which I absolutely love, always have done. I consider it comforting in terms of its aesthetic, and also the Little Prince's mindset and look on the world is so beautiful to me. I love it. Number 24. I make friendship bracelets. I don't have any on right now, but I've had them on in other videos. They've been a trigger as I play with them, but I love making friendship bracelets. They're my little comfort thing, and I also make them to raise money for local theatre groups that I'm a part of. It's so much fun. Number 25, I went to university in Surrey. I'm from Merseyside, but I went down south and lived in Surrey for 5 years to do my degrees. And I had a crazy time at uni. There'll be a few facts about my uni life as we go through this, but I had a great time. And yeah, it was fantastic. It wasn't the University of Surrey, but it was a university in Surrey, if that makes sense. Number 26. Before I went to uni down south, I took 2 years out. I took 2 years after leaving school to decide, you know what, yeah, uni was for me. There's a lot of reasons why, but I won't bore you with that for this one. Number 27. I am 27 years old. Do you see what I did there? The fact 27 is the fact I'm 27. But people do often think that I look younger than 27, which is very flattering, if I do say so myself. A little bit of crinkles. Number 28, kind of linking to the Little Prince thing, I touched on it briefly, but my favourite colour combination is navy and gold. But like a light gold and a sort of leaning towards blue, midnight blue kind of navy. I love it, it's a beautiful aesthetic. Anyone who gets me stars or waning crescent moons in light gold and then all surrounded in navy, midnight blue is... So I love it. I love art like that. I love it so much. Number 29. I have been a performer since I was 9 years old. It was when I started, and I have never stopped. Performing is one of the things that has brought so many beautiful things into my life. Mostly other people, but has just helped me so much in becoming myself. And it's something I will always do, no matter what level, professional or amateur, but I love theatre and I love performing, always have and always will. And as a matter of fact, my first paid job, fact number 30 this is, was singing backing vocals for Sir Paul McCartney in 2011 on his On The Run tour. A group that I was part of did the Ding Dong's Wonderful Christmas Time, but we all got paid 40 quid per show, and yeah, 2 shows, so that was £80, and that was the first time I'd ever been paid actual money to do a thing. And it was so cool. It was so cool. And he shook everyone's hand and introduced himself as Paul like we didn't know who the hell he was. Like he didn't know he was famous. But he was wonderful. He was wonderful to work with. Number 31. My favourite book of all time is Aristotle and Dante Discovered the Secrets of the Universe. It is a book by Benjamin Eliere-Sainz. I absolutely love it. It is a beautiful, beautiful story of friendship and family. I don't want to say too much, but it's my favourite book of all time. It inspired my first dissertation during my undergraduate degree. And it's about masculinity and queerness, and yeah, there's so much in there. And yeah, I cannot recommend it enough. Go look it up if you haven't heard of it. I believe it was turned into a movie recently, but I've not watched it. Number 32. I am deeply, deeply, deeply empathic. Definitely, when in my younger years it was to a fault because I couldn't quite tell, when I was being too empathic and draining myself. I have a lot more kind of boundaries with it now, but I feel other people's pain and emotions and opinions quite deeply. And I have a very nuanced understanding quite quickly, an in-depth understanding quite quickly into other people's emotions, and I've known that from quite young. It served me well most of the time, but obviously there needs to be boundaries on it to protect your own emotional well-being. But I think empathy is a beautiful thing, and I'm very, very glad to be empathic. Number 33. At uni, I once directed a virtual opera during the COVID pandemic. It was a production of Patience by Gilbert and Sullivan. It was one of the craziest things that I look back on when I was at uni. I was like, did I really do that? But yeah, I did. I directed a virtual opera that I ended up having to be in as well because the lead actor dropped out. That happened a lot back then. Number 34. For my 23rd birthday, my ex-partner bought me a cameo happy birthday message from the one and only Miriam Margolyes. Miriam Margolyes, Miriam Margolyes, Miriam Margolyes, who, if you are not aware, if you don't know who she is, most people know her as Professor Sprout from Harry Potter. But she is very well known in the UK for being very, very foul-mouthed and just generally a lesbian icon. I absolutely appreciated the message. She called me sexy in it, and yeah, it was lovely. It was wonderful. And number 35. I only have one grandparent left with us, and she lives in the Lake District, in the South Lake District. Her house overlooks Morecambe Bay, and it is the most beautiful place. And it's a place I've always been enchanted with for my entire life. And yeah, it's one of my absolute favourite places in the world. Okay, we're going to say goodbye to the crinkly bag, and we're going to move on to another favourite trigger of mine. This is my old laptop with the little sticker which says Planet Earth turns slowly. I'd like to make myself believe that planet Earth turns slowly. Boys get sad too. Stickers and all the stars. But I am just going to put this down here, nice and gently. And I'm going to type a little bit for you, like I'm typing. because it's one of my favorite triggers is typing and keyboard typing. Thank you, ALB in Wonderland. That's all I'm gonna say. No, ALB in Whisperland. Wonderland's her other channel. Either way, I love ALB. And she is the reason I'm doing this. Their little survey call videos. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Where was I up to? Ah, yes. Number 36. Some of you will know that I do tarot readings and I'm a big fan of tarot cards. And my favorite card in tarot is number 18, which is the star. The star is a beautiful symbol of hope, and that's how I've always seen stars even before I really knew much about tarot. And it's also it's the main major arcana for Aquarius, which is my sun sign, so many layers of meaning in that card for me, and I love it very deeply. 37. I am gay, but when I came out age 17, I initially came out as bisexual. There are several reasons why, due to wanting to retain some masculine credibility, but also more so because I had attraction to girls, but I didn't quite understand key aspects of how I was attracted to people and how emotional attraction played into sexual attraction for me. And it wasn't until I realized emotional attraction is the thing which is the difference between men and women for me. So fact 38 is that I am demisexual, which is on the asexual spectrum of identities. It means that I only feel sexual attraction when I feel an emotional bond with someone. And it's beautiful. I love it. I love being demi. It's wonderful. Number 39. My favorite crystal is amethyst. I love amethyst. There are several reasons why, from the colour to my history with the stone to just how I feel and how I feel protected whenever I have an amethyst close by. And yeah, amethyst is very much a stone which brings me home to myself. And yeah, I love it. Number 40. When I was at uni, the first performance I'd ever did at uni, out of the many that I did whilst I was there, was as Gomez Adams in the Addams Family musical. I absolutely loved that show. I loved being in that show. It was pretty overwhelming from being a little boy fresher to all of a sudden the top of a cast list. But I made some of the best friends I've ever had do that show, many of which I still have in my life to this day, and it was an absolutely life-changing experience. It was wonderful. Number 41. My favourite Disney character. I've spoken about my favourite Disney movie, but my favourite Disney character is Jack Skellington. Jack Skellington, Jack Skellington, Jack Skellington, Jack Skellington. From The Nightmare Before Christmas. There is something so comforting about Jack Skellington as a character and what he represents. And this notion of doesn't always understand and has trouble communicating across to the people he loves what his intentions are, but his intentions are so beautiful and pure, and he's got so much love in his heart for the people in his community, as well as Sally, obviously. And yeah, I just think he's beautiful. Okay, so at number 42 is a bit of a strange one, but I stopped drinking when I was 17, and I'm 27, so I've been sober for 10 years. I've never been drunk. I've only ever socially drank. So I had my first drink when I was 15, and at 17 I was like, you know what? This just doesn't do it for me. Tastes gross. Don't get the buzz from it that people do, and yeah, just not my thing. Plus I can have a great time sober. I'm a bit mad as is, so I don't need booze to bring that out of me, basically. And yeah, teetotal. And have been ever since I was 17, so a decade now. Number 43. I was diagnosed with an autistic spectrum disorder at the age of 11. It was Asperger's syndrome was the diagnosis that I was given, but obviously they don't diagnose that in the UK anymore for a very good reason, because the whole term of Asperger's basically, well, there's several problematic notions with it, but the main one being that there is a high functioning and low functioning side. It comes with a big binary definition of autism, when autism is in fact a spectrum of disorders, not a binary of disorders. So I just say I'm autistic because, yeah, Asperger's doesn't quite do justice to it. But that diagnosis has saved my life in so many ways. Number 44. I am currently working as a community carer. So I deliver care to people's homes for the elderly and disabled. It is hard work, and it's the reason why I don't upload as much as I would like to, but it is the most rewarding work I've ever done, and I love it dearly. Number 45. My favourite candy at the moment are the Cadbury's mini egg chocolate bars. Not the actual mini eggs, but like the chocolate, like the dairy milk bars with actual mini eggs in. Love them. You get them cheaper with a Tesco Club card. Number 46. I choreographed and captained a competitive hip-hop team in my final year of uni. Yeah, I was the advanced hip-hop choreographer for our dance society's team. It was one of the wildest and most random things I ever found myself doing at uni, but especially because I hadn't competitively danced before, but it was an incredible experience. I had a lovely team of 6 other girls, and they were all better dancers than me, by the way, just throwing that out there. Yeah, they were incredible, and we placed at every competition we went to, which was my main achievement. So yeah, that was one of the maddest things I did at uni, but also one of the things I was most proud of. Number 47. In the year 2018, I read 70 books. This was mostly because I was a booktuber at the time, and yeah, it was a mad special interest time in my life reading YA, and I loved it, but I've never been able to read that many books since. I mean, that's what an English degree does to you. It turns you off reading entirely. Number 48. I met my lovely boyfriend through TikTok. He came across a video of me singing, and we were friends for a while. I did some of his online projects because he writes musicals. He's a performer and a musician, and a very, very talented one. It's annoying. And we just became friends, and then my boyfriend at the end of 2023. And for our 1-year anniversary, I fully produced a cover of the song that he first found me through. And we both cried like babies in my car. I cannot put into words how much he means to me and the joy and beautiful things that he's brought into my life. He's the best thing about my life at the minute, and I honestly could cry. I'm talking about him too much. He's beautiful, and I love him very much. Number 49. This one is slightly odd, but I have a feeling that in a previous life, I was a blue whale. I have always, from when I was very little, had some inexplicable connection to blue whales. This kind of notion of them being the largest mammal that's ever lived on the planet, the biggest heart, and this notion that they can hear each other's songs from hundreds of miles away, and how they're so big yet so gentle at the same time. That idea has just always really resonated with me. And so much so that for fact number 50 is that I have a tattoo, and it is of a blue whale. I'll see if I can put a picture of it there if you're still awake, but it is of a blue whale swimming through the sky on a waning crescent moon with 5 stars, with an Aquarius symbol on her fin. And yeah, I was so happy with that tattoo. I got that tattoo in Toronto after I was travelling around camp. I always wanted a tattoo to mark turning 25, and that was the image I drew out, which really resonated the most with me. And I love it so very much. And that is my 50 facts. There you go, my loves. That is all my 50 facts. I hope that you found this relaxing, that you found this interesting. I hope that you're asleep. I hope I bored you to death. Well, not to death, but you know what I mean. I hope I bored you into zoning out, relaxing. And I am so glad you chose to join me today. It's always an honor to be sharing this space with you, where you can be yourself and relax. And if you're still here and you would like to affirm with me how much you are loved and how much you matter, then let's do so. Say it with me. I am here. I am safe. I am protected. And I am loved. I am here. I am safe. I am protected. And I am loved. I am here. I am safe. I am protected. And I am loved. Because you are so very loved. Have a wonderful night, morning, day, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I will see you very soon.